Be broadcasting. Hey, this is Johnny Bean, and I'm here with a bunch of guys, and we're going to talk about some guitars, uh, Van Halen guitars, I guess. You guys want to introduce yourselves? Who's here?
Dave Nesdall, hailing from New York, New York.
I'm Nick. I'm from the Bronx right now. Coming from you live. Who else is here?
I'm Hef from down in the dirty Mississippi.
Uh,
And this is David Wright. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, sick.
that's awesome. Hey, Dave, just so you know, I'm going to be at the NAMM show in July. We should probably meet.
Absolutely, I'll be down there to it. I usually go to it every year. I've been going to it since about 97, 98, something like that every year.
I'll be playing at the Floyd Rose booth.
Okay. I went to it last year. It was kind of disappointing, but it was okay. But I mean, in '04 is when the last major show we had in Nashville. It was really great. But after they moved to Indianapolis and then they went to Indy, then they went to Austin, it was messed up for years. We've got the biggest convention center in the whole South now. But
I heard
it's
I heard
getting
it.
better, but
I heard it.
bidder do not show up anymore.
Right. I heard it cost them $1 billion to make it and $1 million to run it.
Oh God! And we're still paying on it. We're still paying for the Titans.
Right. Right. So, Johnny, what are we talking about, brother?
Oh, I get Van Halen guitars. Right now. I'm posting a link to this in all the Van Halen groups on Facebook,
Oh,
so
cool.
anybody can tune in and watch.
Nice.
So I got to do that.
We're talking about these guys, right?
What are we talking about?
These guys.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So, the Kramer
That's-
5150.
That guy. I like this guy.
Yeah, well, the rest of those guys don't like that guy. But let's not talk about that.
I still don't get that, but
It's a family show now.
I guess so.
So, you want to talk about the Kramer 5150?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. And hey, if any of you guys, if you happen to have Facebook open, and if you just want to go to like one of the Facebook pages, like the Fanatics page or whatever, and just make sure there is a video there that you can tune in and watch.
You mean that guitar right here?
That's the one.
That's the one. Johnny posted in Van Halen Fanatics. Let's check this out. Hang on a second.
There'll be a slight delay. There'll be maybe a 40-second delay, but you should be able to tune in live and watch.
You know, I've never seen this poster right here until I bought it. Can you guys see that?
I don't have any posters. I need a poster for Van Halen.
This one?
Yeah.
I never saw that one until I bought it. That's the reason I bought it, because I never saw it before.
Yeah, that looks like it's from '86.
I mean,
That's what I was supposed to say.
you know, I saw this one 1,000 times. I always wanted it, but I was never able to get it, and I finally found some Van Halen people snoozing, so I bought it.
Yeah, look at that. It's streaming live.
I don't have any posters. I need a poster for Van Halen.
This one?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, it's working.
I can hear the delay. It's
Yeah, I turned it off. So. All right. So, Nick, I think you got the floor since
Fantastic.
you probably know the most about this guitar.
I'm so honored. Anyway, okay, so Kramer 5150 came into being around, what was it, late 83, you would say?
Yep.
So the neck was painted, like actually the Kramer had as well. The neck was built before the body was. The neck was made with Paul Unkert, who had departed Kramer by the time the body was ready to come around, as to the best of my knowledge. So the neck was finished and had been altered so with Unkert's grandfather's wood to make the headstock a banana headstock the way that we know it today. Yes, as Dave can show. If Dave can talk to get some.
Yeah, here you go. Let's see if we can, if you can see any of this. Can anyone see this? This
Yeah.
headstock? All right, very good. Well, there you go.
The headstock based off what?
It was it was based off of the Ibanez Destroyer that Eddie had, the
Correct.
Shark. Yeah, he had it originally painted white, and then he striped it up to paint silver and red. So then he loved that headstock, so he had it copied over on the 5150. So that was made with 3 parts of wood, obviously the center part and 2 parts added to the side to make it wider. And the neck was finished, like I mentioned, and by the time that Eddie wanted to actually make a guitar out of it, he sat down and tried with a razor blade, tried to scrape off some of the some of the finish. He succeeded mostly, but as you can see on some of the wear patterns where it's worn on some parts and not on the others, you can see that that's where the clear remained on the fretboard. I'm not sure if he actually removed it from the back of the neck, because the back of the neck is pretty. It looks like it's a finished neck, just old and used. So the body was striped by some unknown party. We don't know. It could be Ed.
Probably, what's his name? Rudy.
Often,
right.
I've often thought whoever striped the 5150 was like a I don't know, like some kind of mathematics major or something, you know?
Maybe.
Well, they used it was painted in the order different than the Frankenstein. It was painted white, red, and then black. So it was striped using 1/8, 3/16, 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4 tape sizes.
Sure.
So there's a lot of different paints. It's a lot different than the Frankenstein, or it's just really 3. And then yeah, it was painted pretty sloppily up until at the black point. They used a cutout of MDF of 3/4 cutout to lay over the guitar. That's why it actually one of the stripes changes directions, the longest stripe on the front.
Right.
This one here.
Yeah.
And it's actually changed direction on my guitar as well.
It's a nice job on that one. So the guitar started out pretty bare. It didn't even have the space tape on it on the first. It actually had the cigarette burns before the space tape was on it.
Yeah.
So it wore really quickly because Eddie didn't really care about that guitar. He really beat it up. He would throw it in the back of his pickup truck and
Really, the reason that the Kramers wore prematurely was because, I mean, I've talked to people that know his guitars. Those Kramers weren't painted very heavily. They were really light painted. There wasn't a lot to them.
Absolutely, and no clear coat.
And later on, Kramer actually started to really apply some paint. They would dip on a white primer that was so thick it actually made a shell around the wood. So that's like Eddie drilled holes in it to get the tray table on there so you can play it on like a piano on stage, and he eventually broke the headstock because the strain from the 6th tuner on that wood seam was so great that it split off, and it remained broken up until recently, which it was fixed and a 7th tuner was added.
That was actually done. That was actually done by Ernie Ball back in '90.
Relatively recently. So it was never really used much after that, besides in 2004. So what else is there really to talk about? I mean, the body wood was most believe is either poplar or basswood. I'm of the basswood camp. Most guitars after that were made of basswood, so I assume that's what happened. And a lot of people have said it's so light. And you can see the wear pattern actually follows the wood grain on the forearm. And it was cleaned up in by yeah, that's it right there on Dave's thing.
Yep.
Yeah, wood grain.
Yep, there you go.
The paint yellowed very much because Eddie was smoking a ton of Marlboro Reds those days. I'm not sure if he's still smoking or not. I think he is, actually.
He's not smoking anymore. He's
Because after he got his cancer and his tongue removed, he still smoked.
yeah, but he stopped smoking in 2007.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I dropped off the map after 1984. So
Actually, the last thing, I mean, he was seen smoking like the e-cigarettes, you know.
Dave, is that you?
Yeah, sorry.
So I mean, I'm not really sure what else. I mean, it's a
Space tape.
Space tape was a reflector. A lot really apparently it was very was used a lot throughout that time. I was not alive, so I couldn't tell you. But 5150 obviously means the LA police code for mentally unstable person, something like that. Eddie obviously liked it very much. To use his name after his studio and put it on all of his guitars since then. Well, most of them. So the pickup was a rewound 59, made rewound by MJ at their Santa Barbara factory at Seymour Duncan. The Floyd is a whale-tail Floyd made by Kaler, only 50 or 500, we don't know, one of those two. Were made. I've seen 3 of them. Actually, I've seen 4 or 5. So they're out there, but they're very expensive. As Dave and I were saying before, the last one went for $2,000. Dave, why don't you sew the nut on the guitar? So that is what a prototype nut would look like. Those are a little easier to come by because another company named Fernandez was making them, and there's a lot of those out there for a much cheaper price. The string retainer is also shorter than other ones, and it's rounder than others. And the tuners on the 5150 were Gattos, unmarked Gattos, and those are hard to come by, but you can find them. Let's see what else. So the pickup is more like a JB now after it's been rewound, which is I think what Dave has in his guitar. Am I correct?
Yeah, I have a JB in mine.
A lot of holes have been drilled in that guitar for the tuning on the bottom, for the 2 eyelet screws on for the straps. The top bolt is actually broken off, so he's got it in the rear of the top horn. And there's 2 space tape stars on the guitar, one on the headstock and one on the upper horn, as Dave has now demonstrated.
I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yay, Dave!
Yes, sir.
I'm back.
So that's really the entire thing in a nutshell. I mean, if anyone can think of any other points.
Well, I mean, the thing. There's a lot of the stripes on that guitar, like they don't meet up. And like a lot of replicas, a lot of people make them like meat, and they're not supposed to. There's a red stripe on the bottom horn in between. Dave, you got that?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Can you see it?
A lot of people miss that, and the way
Oh,
that
wow, I
stripe
didn't know that.
doesn't meet.
Yeah, it's not a stripe though. Really, it's a
in
drip.
the middle.
It's just a paint drip, is what it is. But you know, it's kind of a stripe.
Yeah.
I might have to get a red marker now and make one on mine.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people miss. That's one of the little bitty like facts about that guitar that get on my nerves with a lot of replicas because you don't see it and you know it's supposed to be there. You know.
Here's another thing about most replicas that companies don't do. The back of the headstock is contoured. You see how it's rounded? It's rounded on the bottom. This whole area here is rounded, and it makes this whole area here very thin.
Sure.
And most, if not all, the companies that do the replicas, they don't recontour that part. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because if you don't recontour it, obviously it's going to last longer because there's more wood there. It'll be more stable. But you're also not getting an exact replica of Eddie's guitar. My guitar takes a better chance of it breaking, but it's more true to what Eddie's looks like.
To talk about things breaking on Eddie's guitar on the 5150, the main reason why I was retired is because of all the sweat that Eddie had on the Floyd had seeped into where the posts were, and the wood got so soft that the posts were actually ripping. The string tension would rip it forward, and actually you could see that the wood above the posts are actually starting to go in the pickup cavity.
You can see the stress.
You can actually see
it was kind of moving forward like this.
You can actually see the chunks of wood pushing into the pickup cavity.
Yeah.
Other modifications of the guitar since then is they added in 2004, I believe, they added a Charvel neck to it, and they also had a widened neck pocket, as Dave has told me in the past. So that makes any chance of a reunion between the banana neck and the main body kind of futile, because the neck will never be that stable in the pocket again.
Yeah, the neck is on it. The original neck is on the guitar, but no matter how many screws you're going to put in the back of that neck, it's going to move in the neck pocket, because the neck pocket is a lot wider than the neck now.
Hmm.
And if you see that photo from Guitar Aficionado, if you really look closely, you can see a pretty wide area, where the wood of the neck does not meet the wood of the neck pocket. You can see it. You could probably put
Credit card.
at least more. You could probably put a couple credit cards in there. Definitely a heavy guitar pick would fit in there. No problem.
On the low side?
It would have to be the low side, because the high side there's no wood. It's like there's no wood there anyway.
Yeah, it's just a shelf. It's just a
Right
shelf.
there.
So
yeah, you see it?
Yeah, there you go. And you can also see what I was going to say. They have a Wolfgang pickup in there now.
And
Right-
it's a PV.
right there.
It's a PV Wolfgang.
Yeah, you can't really see it, but it looks great though. Actually,
There you go.
it looks. I mean, you can really
kinda-
you can see the orange there. It's not a straight
blurry.
red. It's an orange, yeah. And you can see the smaller neck plate. Kramer had a small neck plate that they used on the guitars then, instead of a wide one, as
Yep.
Dave is now demonstrating.
That's that.
So yeah, that's a real Kramer neck plate.
It's just terrible that I think it's absolutely hideous that Ernie Ball removed all the sweat and the dirt from that over the years. That is
Yeah.
absolutely
Well,
ridiculous.
it sounds like, as what Davis told me, they refretted the guitar when they did that. So I don't think they really had a choice. I didn't know that, but I heard Ed was actually mad that they removed a lot of the wear.
Yeah.
On it. And they actually put the Ernie Boyle logo over the Kramer logo.
Yeah. What happened is when they refretted that guitar, there was a flip at the end of the board. And from years of playing it, what happens is the screws from the back of the guitar actually push up the fretboard a little bit, and it causes. I mean, it's to the eye you can't really see it, but it starts to fret out when you bend up here up top. So what they do is they level the whole board, and to do that, unfortunately, you have to take off. Whatever vibe is on the guitar is going to be gone, so that they can level it and refret it.
Johnny, do you have the picture of the Guitar Aficionado on hand? I'm actually curious to see what the current state of the fretboard is.
It's still clean.
Is it still straight up clean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I haven't seen it in a while.
It's a little dirty. Although this photo is from, a year ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2013, 2014. It's around there.
Just don't mind me.
Johnny's probably still eating. That's why.
Yeah,
you
the
see
reason
his
my camera's
avatar.
off is because I'm just now eating
The
breakfast.
first time of that day.
Yeah. So I look like a chipmunk right now. I look like a chipmunk right now. So